Chris Duffin coming at you with some at-home strategies on workouts. So notice I said strategies. Everybody's throwing exercises and workouts at you. I'm just gonna throw some ideas that I haven't seen presented normally. So this should go in addition to the work that we've already put up on the Kabuki Strength Virtual Coaching Instagram account. But the strategies we're gonna look at is offset load, time under tension, and blood flow restriction. What every one of these strategies does allows you to train with less load and still get a desirable training effect. Offset load, what the heck is that? Well, that's the shoulder rock, but you don't need a shoulder rock. This definitely makes it easier for what we're gonna be talking about, but we're not gonna be actually swinging this. So you could mock this up with a barbell, a curl bar, a broomstick, a shovel, I don't care. But you hardly need any weight. I'm gonna demonstrate this. I've got 10 pounds of hair on the end of this, and you should be able to find anything that weighs 10 pounds, and I'm gonna do some movements to show you. So first one is just rowing, but again, I could be doing curls, I could be doing pressing. So I'm gonna grab 2 spots up here, and now that's actually pretty challenging, and I can make it more challenging. I would probably want to grab right in here so I can get a nicer range of motion and a little bit more weight. My back is pretty strong. Boom. Okay. Curl. You can see 10 pounds. I can actually really barely curl this. Overhead press, anything. All of a sudden, with hardly any weight, I can be able to train at a very high level, okay? Offset load, hey, I wanna squat or deadlift. I can do the same thing. You're gonna have some weights, but again, a little bit more on one side than the other is gonna cue some more core activation and make it more challenging. Is it gonna be the same thing as, squatting in your normal program? No, but what it's gonna do is actually tie that squatting into a better core stabilization when you get back to it. So it'd be a great thing to do. Make sure you do both sides, okay? So that is offset loading. Not a lot of people think about this. It's a really incredible tool. The next one, time under tension. This was very popular for a number of years and still a fairly common training modality. I put some numbers down here. This is how it's typically written out. So this would be the time in seconds for, let's say I'm gonna do a bench press, the descent. 1, 2, 3. 2 seconds, hold, 1, 2. Then the concentric phase, 1, 2, 3. You can do any number of these, I just put an example. Normally when I'm employing time under tension, I still like to keep the concentric phase fairly fast. And I'm slowing down the eccentric, okay? That way I'm still working power development, but that's gonna still allow you to train with a little bit higher load. So this time, depending on the weights, you may continue to train with maybe a 2 or 3 second concentric phase, but something in that 2 to 3 second period of time, and count it, because it's not 1, 2, okay? So that is gonna make things really, really challenging very fast. You could be a 300 plus pound bencher. If all you got is a plate, you could be getting a really great workout that's gonna make you stronger, that's gonna add some gains. This is good stuff. Last one here is blood flow restriction. Now, I don't produce a lot of content around because normally I suggest that people get the actual cuffs that you can measure the pressure and then also find out what your occlusion pressure needs to be. We're not gonna kind of go into that today. And I'm sharing this because right now you need some way to train. So if you don't get it dialed quite right, that's okay. What we don't wanna do is restrict too much blood and cause a blood clot. So wanna make sure that you're not completely occluding. And you don't need the cuffs. You could use a knee wrap, a wristband. Floss bands are really popular. That's you'll see those in my videos on the squat. I'm actually using them not for blood flow restriction, so those are actually lighter when I'm doing that on my heavy lifts. But we're gonna take right close to the joint, okay? And we're gonna wrap this pretty tight. So I'm just gonna show you so you can see the amount of pressure that I've got going on here, okay? And it's gonna be pretty tight, okay? I don't have a definition of it. You're gonna figure it out when you actually start doing the routine. If this routine is really easy, add more pressure. If it's a cakewalk, if it's really easy, cakewalk, add more pressure. If you're not able to complete it, you should be barely able to get to the end here. And this is the approach that I like to use. 30 reps. So your first one is gonna be high rep. And this would be, we're talking no weight here. So this is a squat. I would put one on both legs, and you're not gonna need weight, okay? You're gonna do 30 reps to prime the system. So that first set is much higher volume than the others, and it should be pretty easy. It should start getting challenging towards the end. 30 seconds rest, okay? If you can, just stand and kind of bounce back and forth from one foot to the other, or walk around. It's still gonna stimulate some stuff. 15 reps, 30 seconds rest. 15 reps, 30 seconds rest. One last one, 4 sets total, 15 reps, 1 minute rest, and then you're gonna attempt to repeat this same area. Now, if you've gotten to that point and you're still able to stand and don't have to take the restriction off immediately, you can go ahead and stand there and flex the muscles, in this instance, the quads, boom, back and forth, flexing them, and do that for a couple more minutes. We wanna get this till we're about in 5 to 8 minute range of time before we actually take those cuffs off, okay? It's gonna be really stinking challenging if you've never done this before. I mean, you'll get to the point where you're trying to do a curl with a 5-pound weight and you just can't move your arms anymore, okay? Again, this is really challenging. So these are the 3 strategies that will allow you, in this instance, to train with no weight or very minimal weight. So I'm gonna let you figure out how you set that up, what tools you have, how you employ that in your workout, because that's not the intent of what I'm trying to do with this piece. I'm just trying to empower you with some different ideas that you may not have been exposed to. Go have fun, get those gains.